Good afternoon to you all, and I welcome you all around, I think, 13 participants in this class on online basis, virtual network. I welcome you all, and I hope you enjoy doing this class online. And we try to be as, I mean, transparent and then two-way communication as possible, like just like a classroom type kind of thing. But certainly it requires to, I mean, sort out a lot of technical issues as well as the issues which we face uh, unnecessarily in between, right? So we will keep trying. I think that is what technology teaches us all about this. So we will do that. Now, I think this in third class, if you remember, we have already covered two class in paper 2, and instructional design is very important paper per se, right? Are you getting slide?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for today's session, we have a program like we'll start with some revision, and then we go ahead with the training design. Today the main topic is training design, and then we'll finally conclude. You all can switch on your video also if you want, and be participative as much as possible. If any query or doubt comes to you in between or anytime, you can unmute and ask your queries, right? As far as the this paper 2 is concerned, what I understand, this is very new paper per se. And when I tell a new paper per se, there are a lot of things which we are not talking in a conventional way. We are talking in a very new way, and it's because a lot of things have changed, and that's why you will find this paper has been introduced. And this paper, instructional design per se, if you see, it's not being taught in any management institute or even in training institute or training and development kind of thing, because we are generally not talking about the design. So invariably in last two class also, I have given few of the conventional thing which exists per se, and you will find slowly we are moving to something new, what we expect out of this ISTD classes or the course which you are joining, you have joined. So when we expect something new, I mean, we all should be very curious to understand and devote some time from basically the conventional way to unconventional way, a new thing. Because if we create that habit, I think it will be helpful for all of us, and then it will help us to understand these new things in, I mean, especially in the new direction we are trying to move. And that should be the idea basically. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So just for revision sake, if you see, uh, we talked about the training need analysis, the different model framework approaches in the first class. And then in second class, we touched upon the linkage of training need analysis with the training design. Slowly, I try to develop how the training need analysis, which was basically very favorite and famous terminology just 5 years or 10 years back, which has slowly moved to you are not satisfied with the training need analysis. you move to training design. And when it comes to design part, I think slowly you have to build your mindset accordingly, and that is what I think is very important. Coming back to the conventional one, the training need analysis, what we talk about, uh, if you remember the ADDIE model, am I right? Can anybody tell the detail of ADDIE model? ADDIE stands for
It
Yeah.
stands for
That is
analyze,
for
Analyze.
design,
analyze, design,
develop,
develop,
implement.
implement, and evaluate.
analysis. A for analysis, D for design, right? Another D for
Development.
development, I for
Implement.
implementation,
Yes.
and E for
Evaluate.
evaluation. So that is a conventional way we used to do TNA, training need analysis. However, that conventional way, if you see further, and that is what I touched in the class, first two class, how they have changed. Even when you do analysis, you're not satisfied with this certain kind of information. You want to explore further. Similarly, when you move to design, you are not designing basically the training model or training content, which restricts to uh, very conventional kind of thing, because lot of infrastructure or devices or facilities or resources which are available to you, that gives you lot of scope to design. Basically, that is where you have to think and you have to devote time to work. Then comes the development. So if you design things properly, if you think and then move to development, then you should be able to move little what towards the right kind of development what we need, and the right kind of training what we need to impart in today's environment. And that is what I think we should try to keep focusing on. Then comes implementation, because implementation is also not very easy. If you see, I mean, this Zoom thing on which we are talking, if you see, I mean, just a few months back, it was so, I mean, inconceivable. I mean, no, most of us didn't know much about this. And today we are not only trying to know it, basically we are working on it. So you as a participant, you work on it. So many times you feel very uncomfortable how to go about. Even the instructor who are working anywhere across the country, in ISTD we have so many chapters, and people are trying to organize the online classes. I think instructor also face all kind of technical issues and mental issue and attitudinal issues. So all those have to be dealt basically when we work on implementation. And that is what I think you all should, as a good trainer, you should all learn to focus on. And that then you will feel, I mean, you have moved in a very right direction to achieve in the future results. And then finally evaluate, because unless until you evaluate your approach, your design, your training content, your model, you don't reach anywhere. The evaluation becomes very important. So this ADDIE model, in new perspective, you will find that has become very, very different. So I urge you all, and I hope the new trainer today, when they want to uh, learn about the training and development, they should focus on all these things: ADDIE, analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation in a new perspective. And that is what we should keep trying to do. So when suppose even evaluation we talk about, earlier we used to give suppose a sheet for the evaluation, even for the trainers feedback, for trainers feedback, we used to give a sheet and we used to get the result, and you used to fill the form. But today it goes online, it goes on a Google page. You open the page and then try to fill it, and then we receive like in format, table format, and then try to analyze. So it all basically implementation, evaluation, development all becomes very very different, and that is where we need to focus. So in today's class, I will try to touch upon further how this new thing have forced all of us to move away from the conventional one. Because the moment you keep focusing on the conventional one, somewhere you lose the sight of for the future. But we all tend to move towards future, and we must have focus on that. I think that is where we should try to focus on. Coming to one more important thing, in last class we discussed about 6 steps for training need assessments. Anybody remember? Can we tell those 6 steps? Training need assessments. Yes, Jitender, Arnav, Bhumi, anybody? Hello, are you there?
Yes, sir. Actually, this is my first class of yours, and so I don't know what exactly have you taught. I would go through all your classes. I just searched your YouTube channel. I would go through the classes, and then from next lecture onwards, we can discuss.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, even if you
Yeah,
have not gone, I think that 6 steps for
yeah.
training need
So
assessments
Verma sir,
are
step one,
the
step.
famous steps.
Yeah.
In
So
fact, somebody
so
can
can
just
Sir,
listen.
prioritize.
If somebody
identify
can just
problem.
narrate those 7 steps,
6 steps.
six
Six steps.
steps. So
Yeah.
yes,
Identify problem needs.
Arnav
Step.
Singh Gupta,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
please go ahead. First
Step.
step is
Identify problem needs.
correct.
Step
Very
two,
nice.
determine design of need analysis.
Very nice.
Step three, collect data. Step four,
Collect data.
analyze data.
And
Step
the fourth is
analyze data.
analyze data. Very
Step
good.
5, provide feedback. Step 6, develop action plan.
Develop action plan. So in this instructional design, this topic also we try to move in the similar direction basically from
Sir, Jitendra here.
hello.
Yes, sir, Jitendra here.
Yeah, Jitender, go ahead.
Sir, whatever the colleague said, these steps are related to that is instructional design. These all are very closely work to individual training gap analysis and also the group training need analysis also. The whatever the gap we have as per the person need and whatever the 6 step as the person said. So that is very important to identify the whatever the training we are giving to the particular person or group and whatever their requirement. So that is the instructional design, as you said, that is very important for the group and as well as the individual person to achieving the organization goal and as well as the person goal also.
Very correct. So we must remember those 6 steps, and those 6 steps basically has to be basically implemented in a right perspective in today's environment. So even if suppose you have the question on assignments or you get a question on in exams and you want to write the answers, right answers for this, because you are doing a PG diploma, post graduation in diploma in training and development. I don't consider, I don't, especially me as an instructor, as a guide, I don't consider you just go in a very conventional way and see the references which is old and outdated. Instead, I always encourage people, as I'm Unlearn Guru also, and you need to unlearn those things and move to the new one. And that is what I think we will try to touch upon today. So you should be always moving to the new one, and even doing these steps, doing these steps in a very new environment. Try to find out the new information. What is the requirement, and what is the present requirement, and then what is the future needs actually, right? Am I clear? Okay, anybody?
Okay.
Bhumi,
Okay. Clear.
clear?
Yeah.
Right. So I will be talking few new things today, and I hope in case if you have any doubt, please stop me there, and I will try to explain how it is connected in the new perspective, right? And how it takes you to basically the training design, which basically is the need of the hour. Because you all have joined here ISTD with some future vision or future dream basically, and that dream cannot be fulfilled in a very conventional way. You must have the capacity, you must try to develop the capacity to move from the conventional one to the new one. So I will invite you all to take those further steps, right? Like I did last time, I mean, few of the point I will try to touch upon from the just curriculum for the instructional design. I will read it out again. And if you see, it's a plain and simple English in your content. However, you always should connect with the present one. And that is what you should develop the capacity basically. I want all my students and whoever listens to these, they should develop the capacity basically to connect with the new thing what they are facing, they are having, and they tend to have in the future basically. Just reading this, the course will provide an overview of various design models and focuses on processes, tools, methods, and procedures for initiating a training design project. In your course, it is written like training design project. So you must have the capacity to design a project. And that is what I think you should try to develop, that capacity. And that project basically includes organizational analysis, job, task, content analysis. You should do that analysis. And then you should know about the training needs and resource analysis. I'm always emphasizing about these few of the things like training need projects. You talk about the training need project, training design projects, right? And then you should work on resource analysis. Resource analysis, when you work on, you must be in a position to work on resource analysis correctly. Suppose today Zoom is available, or Google is available, Facebook is available. They are the resources.
Not audible, man.
When you do the training design project, yes, somebody was telling something. Writing and sequencing of functional objectives and performance measures, specifying instructional strategies. I think Madam talked about the different HR strategies. You have to think here instructional strategies, assessing relevant characteristics of trainees, such as learning orientation and motivation, and designing sessions, associated activities, and instructional or course material. So you see, in the new environment, you have to think in a new way actually. And that's how, suppose today ISTD has been able to suppose do the conduct online classes. They switched over to the even the course curriculum, I mean course name, and they introduced the post graduation. They have the new syllabus basically. In the new syllabus, earlier there were only 8 papers. Today we have 10 different papers, and even the existing one have been changed to meet the requirement. And those requirements, basically, it is not the responsibility of those who have designed this, but it is the responsibility of all the instructors, faculties today who are taking classes. And even I personally feel the students should be in a position to contribute fruitfully and take these whole process, these projects in a very right direction. And that is what we should be conscious enough and doing it. Right? So if you see the instructional design, the whole classes, I mean, the 2 class we talked about, we have covered earlier, and today we are covering about the training design exclusively. I have just kept this training design because unless until we are very clear about this design aspect, I think this paper will not serve the purpose. And then we talk about the training objectives, development of training, transfer of learning, and then finally do the review. So if you see, you have been given 2 books given by Agochia, every trainer's handbook. I hope you all have gone through those book. Any comments? Have you gone through those books? Hello? Are you getting
Yes,
me?
we have. Yes, we
Yes,
have
sir.
gone,
Yes,
gone
sir.
through the books. Yes.
Yes, sir.
You have 2 books, Janki Ram and Agochia, right? For paper 4, sorry, paper 2, you have what are the chapters? I have sent the details. Have you gone through it? For paper 2, you have 2 chapters.
Chapter 2 and 3.
In
of
Janki Ram, chapter 2 and
3.
3. So there they talk about analysis of training needs in chapter 2, basically TNA. And in chapter 3, they talk about training design. Am I right?
Right, sir.
And similarly in Agochia,
3 and 4. It's 3 and 4 in Agochia.
3 and 4 in Agochia. Has anybody gone through those chapters in the book, reference book, which has been given to you?
Yes, sir. I have gone through and
Chapter 3 and 4.
I have gone through and taken short notes of myself
Okay.
for both these chapters of both these books.
All right. That's great. Who is speaking?
This is Amar Kamath from Mumbai chapter.
Amar Kamath from Mumbai. Very nice. Any comment on the specific, Amar?
In fact, both these books are not sufficient, I felt, one point of time, because some of the contents were not clearly mentioned. So I have also taken one more book which is very, very good. That is Effective Training, Systems, Strategies and Practices. That is
Okay.
by Nick Blanchard. That I find more useful. I have started reading that. It gives very clear perspective of these topics.
Right. So nice. That is the way we should, I think, Amar, we should keep exploring. And I shall urge all other 18 participants who are there with us as on now. I think all should look for something new, something different. And today I will explain you a few of the things. Why should, as far as the instructional design is concerned, I'm not bothered about the other papers which other faculties member captured or covers. But as far as the instructional design, to understand instructional design, the heart of instructional design or core of instructional design, I think you need to have this mentality. You read through this, because 2 chapter in Agochia and two chapter in Janki Ram, I think you must do as a normal reading, basically it helps you to understand the topic, but over and above you should try to find out what are the new about instructional design, why the TNA has been overnight converted to instructional design, and why we are emphasizing, I mean, faculty like KK Verma is emphasizing on instructional design is something new, and that is where we should try to focus on, right? Anybody else has
Sir, sir, I just want to, ask you, could you please help us with some digital references, reference materials that we can go through after the sessions are, after we have your sessions, we can go through in depth to have better idea about all those topics that we have covered in the session so far.
I think during the class also I keep talking about, because when you talk about those digital link and connections, I think in simple words I try to tell. I think in last class I try to tell simple thing. How many of you have your Facebook account? How many of you have a Twitter account, LinkedIn account? I think most of you agreed you have your account, but then how effectively you use that account? Because that I consider basically they are the resource available to you, and most of the time I consider the resource available to you are free of cost.
Yes, sir, we do go through those, but then why we are asking you is because you are the expert faculty on the subject matter. So your guidance would help us, because it is an ocean. Internet is an ocean. We can go through n number of things, but as far as our course is concerned, your guidance will help us to get it dedicated. Channelized through that.
To do that channelization, I talked about with all my responsibility, right? I talked about these things. Bhumi, you have your Facebook account and Twitter account, LinkedIn account.
Sir, they are in the inactive mode since more than 1.5 years, because I have been going through a lot of certifications, and I not even on WhatsApp even, because there are a lot of certifications, examinations that I have to go through, and I try to avoid distractions.
You are working where?
Right now, I am working as a freelance trainer, language trainer. Just because I cannot work with any organizations, considering all the certifications that I have gone through all these last 1.5 years.
Okay. Besides those, I mean, I know you must have decided about those certifications and those things. I think in between, if you can try to use these resources and try to find out
Yes, I have decided, sir.
how you can use them better. Even LinkedIn, and I know WhatsApp, a lot of people are using it, and they must be uh, making use or in a different way, like forwarding messages here and there and reading the messages from all the groups and all those things. You see, when you talked about the certification also, so you ultimately you decide about ki these are the certifications you need basically to pursue your career. So those things when you decide, I think from my point of view, I mean, this is my personal view, you can say, but what I see, to understand like instructional design concept, if you try to see, when you use these social sites, I think in the current perspective, you can understand how the design flows, how the training flows, and how where the motivation exists. Even in, you talk about in any organization. I mean, few of the organization who uses the resources which are really current and which remains futuristic, it gives you different kind of feel, right? Anybody
Yes.
has um, this right, Bhumi?
Yes, sir, will do it, because after joining ISTD, I have decided to be active on all these channels once again.
Okay. And like YouTube also, I said I have my YouTube
I found it
channel.
out, sir. I found it out just now.
Huh.
Yeah.
I have my YouTube channel, And even suppose this class, when ISTD told me you organize this class, so first I had to like do Zoom, study about the Zoom and all, took registration and then organize the class, and then see technically. I mean, today also in first class you must have seen so many problem comes, different kind of problems which comes. So in online classes we have to keep observing those problems, find out why the problem face, somebody respond, somebody don't respond, how the somebody reacts differently, and then technically we see how it is to be dealt with. So all those challenges, it's a basically online challenges, and I have to face it, and I face it, and then I keep sorting them out. So even today's class, it is recorded, and then I put after the class I will put this on YouTube. Recorded version are available, and then accordingly the link will be sent to ISTD. So all those things we need to do in the present context.
Yes,
Am I
and
clear?
yes, sir. Very clear. Yes, sir.
Manya, you want to say something, Rupesh?
Yeah, sir. I'm okay with this. I'm active, but not much on social sites. But yes,
I
Facebook
know
and
you have given a lot of
yes, yes, yes,
like
definitely.
and comment.
Yeah, I have written a book also, sir.
Okay.
I have written thought on thought patterns. So and
Right.
LinkedIn, I have to be active.
What?
LinkedIn, I have to be active more actually. LinkedIn, I'm not active. Site
Okay.
is there.
So what I feel ki it's not very easy basically. Even
Yeah,
like
definitely. It's a time consuming.
yeah, like
No doubt,
she
time
told
consuming.
na, Bhumi told very rightly
Yeah,
basically,
definitely.
because there may be so much distracting. So we have to basically get used to of using online. And this is basically,
Yes,
you
sir.
see, so many article comes, so many analysis comes. But as far as the
Yeah.
Indian environment is concerned, I always tell people, you see, I always tell people, because Indian environment is different, and when the analysis comes from even Harvard University or business Harvard magazines, you will find
Yeah.
they may be not relevant the way we face the problem. So I always tell people, you must interact, and you must be in a position to understand the problem, what you face, what kind of problem you face, and then try to find the solutions. So that will give
Yeah,
you the
definitely.
confidence, and then that will give you the result. That will give you the result,
Right, sir.
right? So I take you to the different from the book, if you see, because training design exclusively, if you ask my opinion, in both the books, in two chapters, as far as the training design is concerned, it has not been defined the way it should have been defined. Even if training design, the word per se in chapter 3 in Janki Ram, it is written, but it is not defined, if you see. So, in simple terms, if you see, the training design is developing new training and educational courses and lessons for your existing employees. It roots out the gaps in training and fills them in with new material for better performance. If you see the here, if you focus new material for better performance, unfortunately, what happens? Even you go on Google and try to put search any word or phrase, you will find it shows you millions of link and connections. However, you will
Right.
find out of those, only few would be the current one, and rest, only few, maybe 10, 15, or maybe 20 or 100. but millions of those informations may be the outdated one or very, very old one. How many of you like to read those informations which are suppose developed in 1960, article which
No,
is
no,
written
no.
in 1800, or old and outdated one?
They would be obsolete and non-relevant many a times. Not
Most
always.
of the
Many
time,
times.
most of the
Yeah,
content, they will
it's
be,
depend upon the topic actually.
no, please, that is not the case. I think for this also, some of you may give example. Like I also read, suppose Gita. We are in India. We are fortunate enough. We can always compare these things and try to find out. Uh, and we always compare. Like when I speak these lines, and people will have no. There are a lot of things. Even the old one and outdated one, very old one, and they are very important. I don't deny they are not important. Like I just give you example like Gita or Mahabharata or even Ramayana. I think just now we finished Durga Puja. You all remember the Ram Leela being conducted every year, year after year. Some messages are being transmitted. These I don't call it they are outdated or irrelevant or no information. You see,
No, no, not at
those
all, sir.
messages, let me complete. Those messages in a right perspective, in a new environment, may be relevant in today's environment, but that has to be understood in a today's environment, today's perspective. And today's perspective, when we talk about, there we have to develop, that is where we have to develop the capacity basically to develop, I mean, to understand or link or connect in today's perspective or the future perspective, right? So when you do suppose Google and see only 10-20 articles which are relevant and new, others are suppose old one, I don't think that requires, when you go through it, it wastes lot of time basically. I mean, this is my observation and my suggestion. So you always try to read what is the current one. So if I
Right, sir.
take this definition further, it also allows your team to grow their skills rather than becoming static in their roles. Most of the time, what happens? Because we, as a children, we took education, we go in different class. If you remember, I mean, class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, so many class we go just to learn and understand one, two simple things. Like we passed class 1 just to understand A to Z, nothing else. Similarly, in later stage of life, when we try to understand few of the things, you must develop a capacity to pick up the topic and content which are relevant to your requirements. Yes, somebody has
Right.
something to say. Please. Hello? Somebody wanted to say, Rupesh?
No, no, just I told sir, right, sir. Actually,
Okay.
what is it?
Abhishek, I think you all are trainer. I think it will be good if you also speak and use this platform not only to get convergent basically, because you are all becoming a trainer, and my job is basically to apprise you about the thing and provide you some of the features which are available. Abhishek, are you there? Amar?
So can you hear
Yes,
me?
sir.
Abhishek here.
Abhishek, go ahead.
So yes, so indeed what I find that it is very relevant that we stick to the latest which is available. And
Can you switch on your video also if you possibly?
I'm having some network issues. That's why I'm connected through audio.
No problem. So basically, I want to know little detail about, if you can tell your, like, in this training design, I mean, this definition I have brought, and I found it is very relevant in a present context actually, and that's why I'm trying to explain and understand these. And I understand you all try to understand instead of going to the outdated content and all those things where the training design has no meaning actually. If you see the training meaning here is training design is developing new training and educational courses and lessons. Training design is what? It is developing the new training and educational courses. And that is what I think you must understand the crux of it. And lessons for your existing employees. It roots out the gaps in training and fills them in the new material, fills them in with new material for better performance. This new material has to be very, very delicate. In your book, Agochia or Janki Ram, you may not find that new material thing up to some extent. If you find little what, you must observe, absorb that, but then move further. As I think Amar is also, his video is also on.
Right,
You can
right, sir.
speak about, as he said, he picked up another book to get it more clarity about things. And that is the way we have to fill
Correct.
for new material for better performance. It also allows your team to grow their skills rather than becoming static in their roles. So I want to explain, if you some of you can explain this more, what are this new material and how you can move from the static position, static situations to the dynamic one. Amar? Yes,
Right.
Amar.
What I can pick up from after going through this training design, it's basically a process of designing a program or designing a training program by understanding certain things. First of all, we must see that analyze what is the current way of teaching or learning theory. What is the learning theory, and what are the gaps? As you rightly said, what are the gaps where we are having shortcomings? And at the same time, we have to also understand organizational constraints as given in the theory part. So after doing this, we have to, the most important format of this, we will have to set certain objectives. So objectives means ultimately what is the outcome we are expecting out of this training to fill these gaps. And when I say these objectives are said to be written down clearly what exactly we are going to achieve in final. And then we have to break into certain things, these objective, in considering various aspects. And
Amar,
after
this objective and development we will be discussing in
yeah,
the next
yeah,
class,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
So
You can
uh,
just
more
emphasize
of
on
more of
new
I will
content, new
I will
material.
I will say design should be calculating all those needs. What are the needs currently, and are we matching the needs? Whatever is our content of the training, whatever is the pattern of training, is matching with the needs. That is what as a trainer we have to analyze. For
Okay.
example, I will give you in pharma, we are conducting 10 days training, but that 10 days training is it sufficing our need of updating? Because ultimately end of the day, when the salesperson is going in the field, what he requires, he doesn't need science to bombard. No doctor will ask him, since I am from pharma, I'm giving this example, no doctor will ask him science, what is the mode of action of this molecule or something. He will ultimately have to present the USPs of the molecule and the brand per se of this company which he is representing. So we have to channelize those trainings more of with the weightage towards the implementable aspects rather than theory and the science and all. We have to give lesser weightage, or somewhere we have to curtail on that. At the same time, what are the various things we have to keep in mind and to fill in the current needs.
Yeah, very correct. You
And
being in
and one more thing I would like to add, in the current context of pandemic, we have to acclimatize all these people for online training. That is what we have done in last 6 months. There were so many issues. We were educating people to come on Zoom, WebEx, and all these portals. We wanted to educate them. So many hiccups were there. Some that also we have trained them in that aspects also.
Right. I think Amar reminds me you should have a mask, because I keep a mask in my office, and whenever I meet some other individual, I ensure I put a mask, and I request all of you to be basically mask conscious today in new environment. As far as the new material is concerned, I request anybody else has their anything to say. You all are trainers, so you must be in a position to speak on these
Yeah, definitely, sir.
words.
Yeah,
Yes,
Rupesh this side. Actually, nowadays the process is more important than content. Actually,
okay.
how we deliver our content, how we deliver our content to the participants.
Rupesh,
That is very important.
I think
keep your
problem
speaker.
from two side.
Meena,
Hello.
hello.
Yes, sir.
Meena Karmakar.
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Sir,
New material.
in current scenario, we need to understand the learner's perspective also when we design the session, any training session.
Okay.
If I say in when we were doing our physical training in our training rooms, the session was from morning to evening, almost from 5 to 6 hours. Now it is in a capsule sessions like 2 to 3 hours sessions we are doing currently because it is on an online basis.
Right.
And in online basis, we design the PPTs and all like this. Ki we need to add that poll, quiz, some different activities, so that we able to connect with the learners also as a trainer, as a facilitator. And one more added which we are doing in our company also. It is a 3 hours capsule session still. Before that, when we were doing in a room training for 5 6 hours, there is a single trainer who almost handled the participants of a room of 30 40 people. But now we are two trainers over there. One is doing the session, another is taking care of the participants. Those are facing issues as you also doing in the current scenario, sir. Whatever the another trainer is facing issues, you are just solving the, as a support system you are there. So we are also the same. We in our company we are doing the same. Now the two trainers is involving in a one session. Before that, in physically only one trainer was sufficient for taking the sessions and closing the session in a almost in a 6 7 days. Now due to capsule session, it is extended to now almost at a 20 days session now.
Yeah.
So because we are doing inductions only, so inductions we were doing in a 7 to 8 days. Before that, when we were doing the physical, now it is a 20 to 21 days of session. And it is not only we are not only doing the sessions for 20 21 days. After the session in the evening, every trainer is going to connect with the participant, the learner also, what he understood in the virtual forum, because sometimes there is a connectivity issue, there is some other issues also. So have he or she understood the concept which actually facilitator shared with them. So these are the things which is matlab new for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Very correct.
this is a new technology. And how the poll is going on, as we are using team app. So how we can use a whiteboard of the team app, because before that we are just using a blackboard and markers. Now we are using whiteboards over there for the activities and for explaining any concepts. For quizzes, we are using quizzes.com, where we creating a quizzes to give the participant a learning enjoyable learning environment also. So these things very important, sir. Along with that, if we are doing any capsule session, there is a discussion sessions also, like chai pe charcha types of session for 1 hour or 2 hour sessions with our distributor, so that whatever their feelings about this sessions, what they want to share their experience about them. So these are the things which is new for everyone, and we are everyone is learning in new environment.
Correct.
So this is the new
Absolutely.
technologies we are experiencing.
So
Absolutely fine. So
can
those,
I add something?
Meena, you can switch on your video as well. Who is
Sure,
there?
sir.
Yeah. I think you spoke very well, and I think that is what I think I'm trying to emphasize. In the new environment, you cannot go as per the book only. You can read to understand the concept and topic, and then move further. and move further. When
One
I
more thing,
talk
can I
about
add
new
something,
material,
Jitendra?
to get from the new resources, and that is what we should have a capacity to develop. Yes. Who is there?
Yeah, Jitendra, sir, Jitendra.
Jitendra, please go ahead. What you?
Yeah, so normally what we do, Jason,
Yeah.
madam said, whatever as the madam said, whatever
Yeah.
the training activities we are doing, on the same page, what we are doing whenever we are planning to conduct induction program. So we are doing a pre-test program.
In video, you are not seen.
Just a hold on.
Now you are seen.
Yeah, actually,
Earlier
network.
your head were seen.
Okay. So whenever we are doing induction programs, so we are doing first stage, that is introduction part. The second part is we are conducting a pre-test plan. Pre-test question paper is there. We have planned some pre-test question paper related to our course, what we are just doing to conduct. So pre-test test paper is there. On every test paper is a different questions.
Okay.
Like in one table is the three participants are sitting there. So every participant will get a different test paper. So nobody will copy that.
Right.
So after that pre-test paper, we just put the idea key on the basis of individual person, what kind of activity we have to do. After that, we do chart-based activity.
Okay.
We just divided to the different topics to different person related to course material, and we call them as per the trainer side and just go them and tell them ki, please describe this point whatever you have in mind. Five
Absolutely.
specific points and five what you have doubt.
Any other person will speak? Viswa Bhushan Pradhan from Bhubaneswar.
But I think with the point which Mr. Jiten mentioned, that would be the need identification that we are doing, right? So, and basis this, probably we will design the training program for that. So herein probably we talking about that what is the training design and how we should develop it, right? So I believe once you come to know the problems or the level of the participant, and therein what is new that we can add. So like taking the example which other people also mentioned. So herein I can also get an understanding that some people may have problem with the functioning of the web portal, right? Which is the recent time we are taking these sessions. So what we can do while we are designing it, we can add in our program, we can add 30 minutes or let's say 40 minutes basis the understanding of a participant. We can add this also to the training program. So that is means the current what they are already knowing and what is expected, like this is what we anticipated, right? Basis the answers or basis the their understanding. So this can also be added. So I believe that is again something which is the gap filling, bridging the gap, what they know and what we want them to know, or understanding after the research and all. So I believe that is certainly one of the things that can be do when we are designing a training program.
Right. Thank you very much for participating and telling your viewpoints. So further, like definition, if you want to read, you have been given this HTTPS. The link is there. You can always go through it. Right? You can note it down, or when I send the PPT, you can have this. Right? You can go through it. Moving to the next one. So what I see, the training design journey, it moves from training need analysis, and then today what we are trying to cover, training design, and then we will move for the next session. We will talk about the training objectives, and then we'll discuss about the development of training, and then transfer of learning. So these are the steps in this training design journey. In general, I have considered, and you all must remember these steps, 5 steps in doing this kind of project with the training design, right? And why I tell about all these things, because just to bring some emphasis, you will see that digital disruption has already happened. And not only we are talking about, we don't have a conventional class, and the people from Mumbai or Kochi or Bhubaneswar, they are attending online classes, and across India we will find this Zoom class or ISTD class is being organized, and those things have evolved basically from where? I mean, this is what we should try to think. And this digital disruption, what we talk, is it has already happened, and you all must have heard about Uber, Airbnb. I mean, they are the reality. I mean, we all know, most of people, we all know Skype. We could have given a reference of Zoom also. We know about Alibaba, and we know about Facebook. Facebook doesn't. Hello. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, audible, sir. You can go ahead.
Clear now.
Internet problem. Amar, are you getting? Hello. I think my speaker got some problem, and then it gets lost, right? But no problem. I think we'll restart again from where we were. Are you getting my PPT?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So we were talking about the digital disruption. So you all, I mean, most of, I think, agree with me. This Facebook,
Yes,
Skype,
sir.
Airbnb, even the largest movie house owns no cinema, Netflix, and largest software vendor does not write its own app, Apple. So they all basically go online, and somebody else writes the program or build resources for them, right? So digital disruption is there in our life. Now, when we talk about this book, Agochia, I mean, I just want to emphasize you, because as Amar also told, right? If you see, the published year of this is 2002, right?
Yeah,
The
11 years back, sir.
second edition. Yes. What are you telling?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
11 years.
Sir, just I told you 11 years back it was
11 nahi,
published.
18 years. First published in 2002, it is 18 years.
Second edition it was published in 2009. Maybe
was not-
revised one or not, I don't know.
Its second edition published in 2009, and I think from my point of view, corrections or edition update have not been done much.
No revised edition. It is just a second edition.
It is just the second edition
Yeah.
or second printing, you can say, what I understand.
Yeah, definitely.
But in today's environment, we all are forced or need to discuss about the topic like machine learning, deep learning, big data, natural language processing, NLP. I think Freelancer also, she mentioned about the natural language processing. Then we have to deal with artificial intelligence and robotics. That kind of world we are in. So we have to move away from the content or course material what suppose is provided, but that is where we need to focus on. Even I don't know if Amar, because he mentioned about he has gone through this. If you see page 66 of the book, the references which are given in the book, you will find, has anybody gone through this page 66?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's in
Yes.
Janki Ram, that book,
Janki Ram. This
the Janki Ram book. If you see, the references are
way
generally
back.
from
It's all way back.
89. Huh?
When we were not born also those years.
Are you?
Before 2000.
I mean, some of you trainer, Amar Kamath, you are a young guy. You were not born
And
even at the references have been taken.
1968, 1975.
Correct. So what my reference is basically telling you this. Please note these things basically at times. All references are 20 years back. That time internet
Yes.
was not popular. Social sites were not there. Facebook and Twitter were unimaginable. I am electronics engineer. I did my MTech post graduation from IIT Mumbai, and I understand how slowly we have moved as far as the electronics, IT, and even the social sites and other infrastructure which are available today. People may talk about the technology. I have lived those change in the technology. I understand even the mobile phones and broadband. That's why that's why you will find in both the book there is no discussion about the mobile phones or broadband kind of thing. Smartphones never heard of. Smartphones never heard of. 4G, 5G is just a few years back story. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So only
Yes, sir.
you know. So I request all 16, 17, 18 participants who are attending this class, please remember what you do, what you face, what the resources you have. Your instructional design or training design should be based on those concepts. In the book, further, if you see, you go to page 143, you will find the recent development. It is written recent development. And then further it discuss about computer-based slide presentation. I think it's a very old thing in the Zoom era, slide presentation. How many
Yes.
of you know there was a slide presentation kind of thing? Amar, are you
Yeah,
aware?
sir. It was OHP. Overhead projector was there that time.
True.
Okay, right? So these are the recent development being talked in this book. So I want you people should take this further instead of getting restricted with these information and knowledge. And when you write, generally what happens, even the people argue with me with those informations. Rather than that, you should try to find the new information and move ahead, right? And this is the written in the about the author. Last page, if you see, he has worked for 12 years in 1969 to 80. Long back. So we should have a capacity basically to understand these things and move it further. So what I understand that today time is about big data. This is the correct. Harvard Business Review, they talk about big data. So you should try to find about these informations, and then accordingly you work in in any organization, you should try to find out those new content, those new information, and that is where you will find the knowledge and wisdom exists. And that's why most of us may have the problem of getting stuck, and you will find even the organization, even the big organization, like you talk about, you must have heard about Nokia story. They get stuck and they are unable to change, and they are unable to change because they are not ready to unlearn the old or conventional one, the concept which is in your mind, that you are unable to move away from that and move to the new one, new content. But in this topic, in this subject, paper 2, instructional design, you must understand the main information or main thing should be you must develop an capacity to move to the new environment, new content, and new domain, right? I think in HR it is very famous, and that's how you will find out of 10 subject, 10 papers which you have. One is, I think, talent management also. You will be covering this paper. I mean, there may be time when we talk about the people are like he's better, he's 2 times better, 10 times better, or something like this. But no, it is not. Today, when we talk about the talent matters, it could be like 10,000 times. And it is being told by one of the former chief scientists of Microsoft. So when you are dealing, most of you might be in HR activities in some capacity or other. When you are dealing with the talent management, when you are dealing with recruitment or young recruitee, young employees, young managers, you must have the capacity. The talent could not be restricted like few times, 2 times better, 3 times better, or 10 times better, or 1,000 times better. No, it could be even 10,000 times better. The good employee could be 10,000 times better than the conventional one, or the outdated one, or old employee. So that is the talent we need. So any organization, that's why you will find in last 10-15 years we have so many new organizations have come up, and they did much better than existing and well established old organization. We talk about, suppose, Google, Twitter, Facebook. In last 20 years these organizations have come up, while the conventional one have got stuck. They have not been able to achieve that kind of growth what these new organizations could achieve. And they could achieve because they had the talent with them. They had the people who are ready to unlearn their conventional knowledge and conventional wisdom. They could design accordingly. They could design something new and something revolutionary, and they could give productivity to the organization and results to organization, what is giving profit in a much better way, right? Have you heard of SpaceX? SpaceX is
No.
basically the private company which launches rockets, and its CEO is Elon Musk, right?
Yeah.
None of us.
So if you have time, in your own time, you can Google them, Elon Musk and SpaceX. But I will just show you a video if it runs. You can see the what kind of design it is conceived and projected.
In fact, SpaceX has built a rocket that can come back after launching the spaceship, and it can be reused. So that's the latest technology that they're using.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Just I'm trying this. Just have patience. We will see if this can be shared and shown to you directly from YouTube. Be patient and just see, it's a 2-3 minutes video. Are you getting? Are you able to see video?
Yes, sir.
Right.
We are able to see, yes.
But
But not voice is not coming.
It's not audible, sir.
yeah.
Now,
Not yet.
हो जाता है.
It doesn't feel natural, doesn't feel normal the way you should do things. We start playing around with the idea.
It's coming.
Yes, sir.
I
We
think
able
it,
to hear.
now sound is coming.
Yeah. Too.
You see that kind of design they are conceiving and planning and implementing at SpaceX. He is Elon Musk.
So we are not able to hear again.
Right, right. Are you getting?
Sir, can I try from my system? It is video is open in my system.
Amar?
Yeah. Can I share screen and can I try from my system?
Yeah, you can try.
I think you have to stop sharing screen so that I can get into.
I will have to make you host also.
Yeah.
Sir, make him co-host. Don't make him host. Make him
Yes.
co-host.
Actually,
दो option.
co-host doesn't come to my Zoom actually.
अच्छा, okay. Okay.
Any idea how it comes? Co-host? Amar,
You
I am
can-
making you host. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And you show this video, and then after that
Still.
you transfer back to me.
Still, it is coming as host as disabled participants for screen sharing.
No, I am doing it.
Yeah.
Now you are host.
It's done.
Okay.
Interaction with the CAD software, manipulating the real.
Is it visible now? My screen is visible.
Yeah,
Yes,
screen
the
is
screen
visible,
is
but
visible.
not audible.
Using a variety of 2D tools.
I think,
Audio comes in
yes.
between. Like in my case also, it was coming in between, but not completely.
Yeah.
I think voice is not coming. The same issue is there from my side also, right?
No problem. You transfer that. I think will.
Did you click to the sound option, which is
Yes, yes.
okay?
Yeah, it was maximum actually that time.
Okay.
How to end? I have to end this. Right? No.
Amar, you transfer
Cancel.
the host to back to me. You are still host.
Okay. How should I go ahead for this transferring host?
On my name, put right
Okay.
click and more. You will make host.
Make host. Okay. I've done it.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Now I am host. Right. So you see, this is the live kind of activities we need to do, and we need to do more. I will right. So I will take it further. Move to my this PPT. Are you able to see?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Just note it down this YouTube file, right? In your own way, you can see that is the kind of design we need to do actually. We move on. And so don't limit yourself within what you read, what you listen, or what you see, you try to explore these resources, and this is what I think want to convey. As for the steps in training design, uh, right? Anybody has any doubt or question? Bhumi,
No, sir.
No, sir.
you all are
Right, sir.
trainers, so please keep speaking
Right, sir.
whenever. Sonakshi, Nibetia, are you there?
Yes, sir.
How are things?
Sir, it's okay. Actually, I was not well, so that's why I'm speaking less today.
Right, no problem.
Sorry, sir.
So take care and
Thank you.
do well. Sudeep, are you there?
Sir, here I was exactly on the same points when I was discussing about training design, and now I connect with those.
Okay.
These I really fully agree. This while thinking about training design or preparing a training design, obviously a trainer has to keep in mind what are his organization's uh, constraints. Constraints also matter a lot because he can think big ideas like Elon Musk or something futuristic ideas, but the organization is having some limitations. I mean, in terms of budgeting or in terms of sourcing certain technologies. So a trainer has to really has to clearly have a clear vision what he can do, what is possible in his given perspective. At the same time, second, what I say, organizational priorities, because every organization may be having their own priority
I
in,
understand what you are, Amar, you are trying to
yeah,
tell, but you are
yeah,
young and I think you understand when somebody do suppose MBA or somebody do engineering or somebody do medicine, they don't restrict their knowledge basically to understand the broadness of information basically. You try to understand, and second thing, you try to understand the knowledge or information what are relevant in the future. What my point of view is, you all are trainer working in a different organization. We have talked about the resources to be used, how resources to be optimized, but here we are talking about acquiring those knowledge also. So take it as a knowledge acquiring mission, and then move on further. Then further analysis we do, and then certainly we will try to find out how it can fit in for every individual in a different organization in a different situations. And that is what I think the talent and knowledge is all about, right? It should not be only information. There has to be the complete attitude, the purpose, mission, vision, and your determination, your willpower, how you want to move to any project, and how you seriously you want to take it, right? So those things comes in picture, right? When we talk about the steps in training design, there if you see the first point I have given, evaluation of present resources in the organization. So you have to evaluate the current resources you have in the organization. And then second point, again, you see, it's very important and not very easy to understand and acquire the current technological status or availability. You talked about the resources, you talked about the capital, you talked about the investments in any organization, whether your boss is ready to invest. This financial ability is the third point. I mean, all those things becomes very important. Then you have to have a vision for growth, and then working on design finally. So that is the way we move in one step by step, and then we try to achieve, right? The biggest thing which comes basically in all these things, because you do, I have my experience, suppose last 30 years working in different organization with different institutions. The manpower resistance is a very serious hurdle basically. And manpower resistance is not because of cultural or anything, like there may be so many reasons. The knowledge barriers, the first few of the points I am trying to explain here, because when I talked about the new things, how we resist basically going about this knowledge barriers. Then we have the cultural shocks, because so many culture don't accept new things easily, and those we have to deal with as a manager, as a trainer, we have to deal with. Then we have the learning compulsions. So we don't know. I mean, we have certain ways to learn, and we don't want to change also that. So that creates those problems. Then we have the unlearning resistance. Unlearning as such is such a new topic. Not many of us knows about it. People talk about it, but they don't understand what is this unlearning all about. How can we go step by step to unlearn something which hamper in our career or personal or professional life? So those have to be developed. Then development mindset, those are not very easy to develop, and it requires a lot of efforts. And then zeal to change. We may participate, we may think we have the zeal to change, but when the hardship comes, when you have to when you face the problem, that time you buckle, and those that time basically it becomes very important how you can take it further, right? So these are the points, you take it further. And this I think I will discuss in the next class, because time is already up. I am the host, and I can't delay for the next class. So this 6D, you just note it down, singularity, and these 6Ds. I think I will discuss in next class little detail, so that you understand where are we moving basically. Unless I give you some detail about these, I think it is not, I mean, you will not be able to appreciate and understand
Right.
those incompleteness, right? So we started with the disruptive world. I showed you from one thing to other, and giving emphasis basically how the things have changed and how you, each one of you, need to change. Basically, training design gives you an opportunity. This subject gives you an opportunity, and I think you all should be ready to avail that. Am I correct? So can you switch on your video and see each one of you there in this, who all are available, so that we can take a photograph and so, and right? Arno Sen Gupta,
Yeah, sir,
Kalpana Sharma.
some problem with my connection. I'm not able to connect with video.
No problem. Bhumi, are you there, or have you gone for lunch? Because you have to do lunch also, and before the next class, 2 o'clock.
Yes, sir, I'm here. I would not be able to switch on my video, and I need to, I mean, go for my lunch for 15 minutes because we have a next session, right? And I have been here since 10.
Okay, okay, so
And
nice.
we have video, I mean, we have sessions.
Priyanka Chauhan. Okay. So I expect you all. I hope you enjoyed. This is my connection link, Facebook and Twitter. This is my email ID. You can always connect with me for any new information and queries. I think it will be my pleasure to connect you. Right? Uh, any other points?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I think
Thank you.
you all can have lunch, and we will start the next session at 2 o'clock sharp. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. See you.